The effects menu has a category called Esoterica. And if we look at the definition of esoteric, we see that it can mean hard to understand or limited to a small number of people. I like of special, rare, or unusual interest. So let's take a look at some of these items in the Esoterica list of effects. I will dismiss the definition and open the photo of Justin, which you will find in your working files folder. And let's apply the pop art fill, which by default gives you some very coarse dots, but you can scale those down to get more definition. You can use image luminance, which I will use here. You can change the dab color. Let's make that blue. You can change the background color. I'll choose a pale gold. You can invert the colors. When you apply the effect, you can always fade to some degree so that you can bring back some of the original photo. But I'll cancel that and undo the effect. The high pass filter gives you some choices here for the amount. The basic effect is to sharpen the edges of an image, and that can be very useful. As you see here, we bring out much more detail in Justin's photo. Turn now to growth, and I'll use a blank image for that. This gives you a number of variables for changing the image that you can then apply to your canvas by simply dragging the size that you wish out here. If you want to change color, you'll have to apply it and then go out into your color picker and then come back with growth, which is at the top of the list now because it's the last thing we did. So we'll get some more choices. Let's make a few more of those. Lots of fun there. Undo that last item. Now, place elements is the next thing we're going to look at. Notice it's grayed out at the moment, and I know I can fix that because I can simply choose the image hose, and here is where I can choose a nozzle. I will choose passion flower leaves. So now when I go to the Place Elements command, I can see some sliders and some choices here. I'll choose level 1 and leave everything else as it is. Click OK and see what comes up. A pile of leaves. Let's see if we can add some other items to this, such as passion flowers. So I'll now go back to the Effects Place Elements at the top of the list, and this time I'll choose level 2. Click OK. I have to wait this time. Let's see what happens. We end up with a large pile of flowers. I think I'm going to undo that and go to a different nozzle. Let's choose gardenias and let's go back to a level 1. One of the reasons that you're getting an interesting depth effect is because I have black as the secondary color. Notice that you have a main color and an additional color. If I change that main color to white and then repeat that last application of level 1, now there is a much brighter, different kind of look that doesn't have quite the depth effect that it did with the black. I have another item to show you that was done with the Place Elements command. This uses petals and leaves. Let me dismiss that. Empty that canvas. And let's now look at blobs. I'm going to choose blobs from my list. I can fill an area or a selection or a whole image with either the current color or whatever is in the paste buffer or the current pattern. If pattern is the default, this is what we get. We can change that on the fly. And I'd like to go back to current color. Now I'm going to change to another foreground color, and let's make it purple. So again, for blobs, we will apply 90, and let's make minimum size 90 pixels. Now we'll click OK once again. One more color change, a blue, apply blobs once again. That looks fine. So I'm now ready to use the Apply Marbling effect. Apply Marbling is very similar to the traditional techniques for making marbled paper. You would start with a pan of water and you would drop oil-based inks onto the surface of the water where they would look very much like these blobs. They would influence each other and push each other around. And then you would take a rake-like tool and drag that through the blobs in order to get an effect such as this. I'm going to undo that because I want to show you you can load a recipe, choose that, and then click OK, and we have a beautiful combination of effects. We will take a break here and come back to look at the make mosaic and tessellation commands.